Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here with Daily Grind Fantasy, here to give you a 6-pick PrizePicks entry for you guys to hammer. I hopped on the DFS optimizer and I found 6 plays on PrizePicks that you absolutely need to hammer with me. Right off the bat, I'll just say this first one here is a promotional one for the NFL season. Obviously, you should be adding this to all the entries that you can. I am not adding this one to my entry today, so I'm going to have 6, not including this one, but obviously this promotional Dak Prescott to throw for 1 yard, assuming he doesn't get hurt on the first play. This is obviously going to hit, but all the ones I have are going to be for today, not including this one. But in general, when you are using PrizePicks, it's really cool the way DGF has the DFS optimizer, the tool work, because whatever platform you're using, you can click the drop down here and you can kind of filter out for like how many picks you're looking to play, and then it'll only give you positive EV plays for that number of picks in an entry, because the payouts are different, right? So the individual odds are going to be different as well. Now for PrizePicks, as you can see right here, the best bang for your buck is going to be 5 and 6 pick options. We see the implied odds. This is what the minus 119 signifies. The implied odds per individual leg of minus 119 are at the best on PrizePicks for 5 and 6 picks. Anything else, minus 128, 32, blah, 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 all of them are worse. So when you are using PrizePicks, even though it's a little bit scary because obviously you need the most the most plays to hit in order to actually cash your ticket, in terms of value, bang for your buck, the best option is for you to do PrizePicks 5 and 6 pick entries. And then when you're using PrizePicks from there, you're literally just looking for plays that have a high win percentage. The break-even point is at about 54.5. Really anything above 54.5, 54.35 is going to be positive expected value on PrizePicks. And you're probably wondering, how the heck do we even know what the win percentage is? It's all taken from these odds that you see in this column here. So basically the way it works, this is the DGF logo. DGF calculates what they deem to be the perfect line of a market, and they take into account a ton of different information to come up with these odds. They look at historical data, they look at where the sportsbooks price odds, they look at correlation, a bunch of stuff to come up with these odds. So it's not just, by the seat of their pants on the whim. A ton of data goes into this. So they calculate their own odds for the market, and then they convert that into a percent, and that's where you see the 57.22% here. So really, when you're looking to play PrizePicks, assuming you are doing the 5 and 6 pick flex options, you're looking for plays that are above, like I said, the 54.35% win percentage. And if you filter specifically for what you're looking for, then it's only going to provide plays that meet those qualifications. So we can go through the actual slip now and how to use the tool. That's just the most important part that I wanted to get out in the front. The first play that we have here is a UFC play, and they recently added the date and the time for the markets, which is awesome. So you can tell exactly when the games are that you're looking to play. But we're playing a UFC one. The way you read it left to right, player name, literally the player that you're taking. In this case, we're actually taking 2 players. It's not an individual stat. It's a total round stat that you see here under the stat column. We're taking Buena Silva, and I don't even want to butcher that person's last name, Yusri Belgarui, to go under 2 total rounds. That's the play here. Over, under, we're taking the under, the PrizePicks logo 2. So the full play here is we're taking the total rounds to go under 2. Now, the reason why this is a play, there are a couple different ways in which the you can find profitable plays on PrizePicks. This is an example of a line discrepancy. The reason why is this next column here. We see sportsbook line, we see 1.5. What this means is that the sportsbooks have the total rounds over under priced at 1.5. Now, 1.5 to 2, that's a massive, massive deal, right? That's literally like a third difference, if not even higher, depending on how you want to calculate correlation and percentages and stuff like that, going from 1.5 to 2 rounds. If we were taking this Dak Prescott one, pretend, PrizePicks has it at 230 or 235, PrizePicks has it at 235. Sportsbooks have it at 235.5. That half-yard difference isn't really that big of a deal. It's a massive deal going from 1.5 to 2. So the reason why the under is a play is because the sportsbooks all have the total rounds over under priced below 2 at 1.5. So again, the 57.22% win percentage. This is an awesome play. Definitely, our first play, definitely recommend adding this to your slate as well. your entry as well. Next up, we're going to an MLB one, fantasy score. We're taking Jose Barrios to go under his fantasy score of 30.5. Now, this is not an example of a line discrepancy because we see the sports books also have it at 30.5. So this is an example of a pricing discrepancy. The reason why, look where the other two books that we currently have odds for price this play at. -131, -131. So DGF, looking at those two books along with tons of other factors, prices their true line for this at -132, which has a win percentage of 56.83. So again, we're above that 54.5% mark, and the line is the same, but the pricing is different. The odds are different, so this is a pricing discrepancy. This is another example of a play that you want to hit, right? The sportsbooks are telling you that this should be priced, closer to -130 with a win percentage of 56%. But thanks to PrizePicks giving us the implied odds of -119, that creates value on this play. And if you just think about it logically, like no matter what play you're taking for this individual one, you could take his over, you could take his under. It's always going to have the implied odds of -119. But if the under is going to hit at a close to 57% rate and the over is going to hit at like 43%, it'd be irresponsible to take the over when the under is such a likely outcome. And it's the same logic for these next three plays, right? Plays 3, 4, and 5. They're all a fantasy score, and we're all taking the under, and they're all an example of of a pricing discrepancy. They're all an example of a pricing discrepancy. We're taking George Kirby under his fantasy score of 38.5. This has a roughly 56.24% win percentage, should be priced at about -129. We're taking Pablo Lopez to go under his fantasy score of 34.5. This is going to hit at an exactly 56% rate, should be priced at about -127. And then we are taking Ronald Acuna Jr. to go under his fantasy score of 12. This is going to hit at a roughly 55.61% rate, should be priced at -125. So here are our first 5 plays right here. One is a line discrepancy under 2 rounds of the UFC fight. The next 3 plays, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the next 4, I should say, are fantasy score projections going under. And those are example of pricing discrepancies. And then our last play, we could do another fantasy score one, the Bryce Harper to go under 8.5, but just to switch things up, we're actually going to take this combo one. We're going to take Brian Bello and JP France to combine for over 8.5 strikeouts. This has the implied odds of about -119, so it's right at your break-even rate. Anything below this number is not going to be positive expected value on PrizePicks. Win percentage of 54.35%. But we see here the odds, right? -120, -106, -112, -131, -130, -119. So when you average those out, you kind of see why DGF calculates their line to be at -119. Also looking into a bunch of other factors that they're looking into aside from just these odds. But this is our 6th and final play, our 6th and final pick for this entry. 6 legs for this PrizePicks entry for you guys to lock in. When we get this one to cash out, we will like 25x our money. So if you are riding with me, comment and let me know. Other than that, remember to like the video, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for watching and have a good one.